1965, Vietnam seemed like just another foreign war. But it wasn't. It was different in many ways, and so were those who did the fighting. In World War II, the average age of the combat soldier was 26. In Vietnam, he was 19. They fought the longest war in American history, witnessed America's first military defeat. They all saw heavy combat in Vietnam. None of them received a hero's welcome.
When I was growing up, where I grew up at, military service was an eventuality. I saw being a paratrooper as the manifestation of macho. If John Wayne would have been in the Army, he would have been airborne.
I'm soldier, I got to my death, all I to my best, and the lady rest,
These guys were certified bad, and they just had that look in their eye. They look at you and you know, I've been there. I'm bad, I've been there. I was scared to death. I was terrified. Everybody was terrified. These were the baddest dudes I ever saw in my life. I was probably as scared of the guys in the 101st as I was of the Viet Cong.
The heaviest fighting of the past 2 weeks continued today, 25 miles northwest of Saigon.
We caught some fire from the woodline. I wasn't really sure what was going on. I turned around to ask this guy what we should do. You're trained and everything, but when the caps start flying, you get confused. I looked at this guy to ask him what to do. He'd been hit right below his eye. Inside his face was blown away. He wasn't falling, he was just standing, and he kind of half turned and fell.
In Vietnam, the combat soldier typically served a 12-month tour of duty, but was exposed to hostile fire almost every day of his tour.
You shoot into bushes and you hear screams and you know that people have been hit, but to see someone get hit with a high-velocity steel jacket round designed by people to kill other people, that's the most degrading experience a human being can undergo. There is no more obscene way to die than to be shot to death in a war.
In Saigon, a U.S. military spokesman said today more than 700 enemy troops were killed last week in that sensitive border area. Throughout all of South Vietnam, the enemy lost a total of 2,689 soldiers. American losses, however, were the highest in more than 2 months. 228 U.S. troops were killed in action.
Perhaps the most dramatic difference between World War II and Vietnam was coming home. The Vietnam vet generally returned alone on a commercial jet, often less than 48 hours after jungle combat.
We came back to the States. You came back to the same address. Mom looked the same. Apple pie tastes just as good. But it wasn't home. I just couldn't handle all the unreality. It seemed like I had just come from the most real place in the world.
When I got back to the States and supposedly a normal society, yet to find there's a war still going on. war because of my race, because of my color.
Hundreds of thousands of men who saw heavy combat in Vietnam have been arrested since discharge. Their arrest rate is almost twice that of non-veterans of the same age. There are no accurate figures on how many of these men have been incarcerated, but a Veterans Administration study concludes that the greater a vet's exposure to combat, the more likely his chance of being arrested or convicted. This is one legacy of the Vietnam War.
You're 18 years old and you're wearing somebody's brains around on your shirt because they got their head blown off right next to you. And that's not supposed to affect you. I can never understand that. I had a period where I had nightmares every night. So used to just killing people. At the time it was so easy. You know, emotions run real high. Then you stop viewing those people as people. You're Americans, they're goofs, they're ransom. And then after that all takes place, and you find that all people are people. And then we came back and we were different, and everybody wants to know, God, what happened to those guys over there? Gee, I saw them marching around a parade ground. They all looked so nice and clean cut, and they all had smiles. Then you come back and you're not smiling anymore. We did what we had to do, and people wanted us to be ashamed of what it made us.
According to a Veterans Administration study, half of the Vietnam combat veterans suffer from what psychiatrists call post-traumatic stress disorder. Many vets complain of alienation, rage, or guilt. Some succumb to suicidal thoughts. 8 to 10 years after coming home, almost 800,000 men are still fighting the Vietnam War.
All we want to do is come home. All we want to do is come home. All we want to do is come home.